Welcome to Google Forms Overview. What can you do with forms? You can create surveys, registrations, quizzes, and tests. You can create and collaborate, but also collect big data and little data too. Short answers, names, registrations, long answers, multiple choice. Now I'm going to have you take a quiz. It is the second attachment in Google Classroom right under this video. So pause this video right now. Welcome back. I hope you actually paused and took that quiz, because I'm going to go to that quiz in one moment here. We're going to look at the responses and how they turn out. All right, here we are at the quiz that you hopefully just took. And since I'm the author of the quiz, I have this little editing tool up here that allows me to go back into where the questions are. And here is where I create the questions and assign the points. And now I'm going to go to responses so we can look at how these responses are organized. First, you'll see the summary, and the summary provides graphics. So I'm going to go through the names. These are all the questions in the order that they appear. And now we actually get to some data, so I can see how many people had the correct answer. So I have a visual here. This is a nice chart you can print up. And then I can go to the individual question and see names and see how people responded. And then individual. For the individual, you can see up here the names, and I can go through and change each sheet. And if I scroll down, I can see that individual person's answers. Okay. And then we have the Google Sheet here. When you first open up your quiz that you've just had everybody answer, you're going to have to create this by clicking on here, and it'll say create or select a new location. But right now, this one is filled out. And so here I have another way of looking at the data. And I could do various things with the columns. I could sort alphabetically. And right now I'm just going across, and I can move down here. So this is a Google Sheet. So forms and sheet go hand in hand. You can also put charts on here as well. Okay. Now I'm going to go back to practice here, and let's see what's next. All right, so naming a forum, best practices on data collection, best practices on response formats, tips and tricks. All right, let's go back here again. Now I am in Docs, or rather Forms Home, and this is the home page where I can pick up templates, or I can create my new one here. Now, to create a form, you can go to Google Drive, and you can also create a form there. You could hit new and go up to the grid over here, and you probably have forms under the Google Apps, but I like to go to Docs Home. And some tricks. So if I name my form my first quiz, and then I go up here and just click, it takes what I've just written, which is very nice. All right, and then let's look around here. Move to folder. I can organize where this goes in my Google Drive. Click on that. Pick where it goes. Over here, these are add-ons. That's for more advanced work. This is fun. You get to choose what color you want your background, and you can have background color over here, and you can also choose images from their gallery. And some, let's see, sports and games. Some of these are moving, as you can see. So I like the baseball one. I'm going to select baseball. And so you'll actually see movement there. I'm going to click out of this. My first quiz. Now, the first thing is your questions are over here, and there's one already started. And I always want to know name. And because I want to be able to sort by last name or first name, I want them in separate columns, last name. And it automatically changes to a short answer. It's that smart. And that has to be required because I have to have that identifier. Well, the next question is first name. So I don't want to have to type all that out, the required and everything. So I hit this little duplicate and I just changed this word to first name. And the required came across here too, right? And I might have a student ID number, whatever I need to identify the student. Then I'm going to create a question and I'm going to say I want multiple choice. Well, let's look at our options. I can have a short answer, which is like the last name, first name, paragraph, longer, multiple choice, check boxes, drop down. Let's look at these three. Multiple choice. It's already defaulted there. Do you like taking tests? And it automatically puts these three. I'll just do that, take all three, but I don't really want maybe. I'm just going to delete that. And that's how simple. And I want no first. So I just drag this back and forth and change the order. This does not appear, it's a little bit grayed out. And then, do I want that required or not? I do in this case. All right, and then let's try duplicating that one. Do you like taking test? But I'm going to change this to checkboxes. So now you have checkboxes. The difference with multiple choice is I can only pick one answer. Only one answer. Here, do you like taking test? I could pick two answers. I can even add, if I click here and hit enter, I get another option. On Fridays, on Mondays. And I can move those around. I can put this up here. And now I'm going to go to my duplicate again. And again, I'm keeping this required. And now I'm going to have a drop down here. Drop down. And I'm just going to leave it as is. So you'll see what that looks like. Then I'm going to add a question. I'm not going to duplicate this time. I'm going to add a question and I'm going to type is this easy? Please explain. And it automatically changed to long answer. I am not going to require this because someone might skip this. If I require an answer, you cannot submit this quiz until you are done, until you have completed that. I'm going to let that one go. Now, I also need to do something with an image. So I'm going to go add an image, and I'm hoping I have an image that I can upload in my computer. So I'm looking to see if I have any pictures somewhere. If I knew where they were. Aries Materials, Aries Training. So I could go into something and find, if I had my training thing, find my badges right here. So I have badge metadata. Let's see, badge certificates. And badge here. There are the badges. So I can take a badge. Let's take a Google Basics badge. Click on that and add it. And I can center it. I don't have to put an image title, but I could. But well, maybe I will. Google Basics badge. All right. And then underneath that, I could put a question. Will you earn a badge today? And again, I'm lazy. I'm going to get rid of the maybe. And so I can also resize that. I can go smaller, larger, and again, I can align it. Now, if I wanted to add something else, let's see. That's it. So now, what else do I have? I'm going to do the title. This is a fancy title. Earning badges. And we'll see what that looks like. Okay, now there's many more things, but we're just doing the basics. Now up here, we've already done this. We have not done the preview, so let's see what this actually looks like. My first quiz, and last name, first name. The asterisk means required. Do you like taking tests? So I have to put in something. My answer, Carol, Jan. No. Do you like taking tests on Fridays? And note I can do more than one answer. Do you like taking tests? You can only pick one in this case. Is this easy? Mostly, because it doesn't take much time to complete. All right. And then I have my Google Basics badge, earning badges. Will you earn a badge today? Yes. And then I would hit submit. Now let me go back to edit. And I'm leaving it without finishing it. But I didn't submit. All right. Now, let's go to settings for a second. I could have started there. Settings, am I going to collect email addresses? If I do that, response receipts, that means that if you are taking my quiz, you can have it back if I've clicked it. Now, if you want it, you can get it this way. If I want you to have it, I have to hit always. Now, when is that a good thing? When you're doing a formative assessment and you want everybody to see how they did on the quiz. You're not really taking scores. You're letting students see how well they know the material. Or a registration, and you want them to have a copy of their registration. This is a tricky one. With teachers, with staff, I always unclick this because so many of our staff do not go into their Alameda Unified School District account, and then they all of a sudden can't use the materials that we have. So I tend to restrict this. For students who are using Chromebooks and everything, they should be in there. Limit to one response, that means you can't go back in and change an answer. And same thing here. If you don't want them to be able to edit, leave that blank. Okay. And then you would have to save. And let me go back to settings because we're not done with that. Presentation. Show progress bar. How far are you in the taking the quiz? Show link to a submitted another response. You can write a message here at the end. Thank you for your participation in training. There you go. And I'd have to save that. Now here is the really cool thing, quizzes. Make this a quiz. If I make this a quiz, look at what is new this year. Locked mode on Chromebooks. Respondents aren't allowed to open tabs or other applications while taking this quiz. The respondents must take this quiz using a managed Chromebook. So if you have students on Chromebooks and you have turned on locked mode, it is like taking the S back. They cannot go wandering. And we beta tested this last year and it worked. When someone takes a quiz, you can immediately release the grade and let them see their quiz, or you can do it later. Okay. Respondents can see missed questions, correct answers, point values. This is a great tool for formative assessments. Save. All right, let's see what else we have here. Send. How do you have people take this quiz? You never want them to be in edit mode. You always want them to be in the view mode. One way to do that is to send via email. You could send to a group, to a class, or what I like is to send the link or to use the hyperlink. I can shorten this. I can come over here and copy this, and I can put it in another document that students could click on or email. So there's all sorts of ways to do that. And then this is a little bit more advanced, so don't worry about that. So these are two options here. All right. The other way you can do this is simply go to preview and copy that link right there. All right. Okay. So that is a quiz, best practices. And let's see what we have. You try. So you can pause right now and you can create your own quiz. And when you are creating a form, you can use the AMP launcher or you can go to Slides, File, New Form, or Drive New Form, wherever you can find New Form. And then you're going to make a short quiz and name it. Try out the color palette. And have you made your form? This is after coming back from your pause. And we've already looked at our settings. And you're going to preview it and make sure it looks right because you will find some odd things appearing every now and then, little options and things like that. So you want to make sure you go back and clean up your form. Form ready, now what? Forms are not docs or slides. They say share, but they mean send. So then you can send your quiz to your trainer. So you try. And how can you use forms? Formative assessments, surveys, practice. That's it for today.